Hey, what is up, my guys? Welcome back. If you are new, hello, my name is grubbz and I make usually Eternal Return content geared towards new players. But today we are going to try something a little bit different. And I know, probably by the title of the video and the thumbnail, you're thinking, oh, this chick is just going to get on a soapbox and complain the entire time. That's very possible. I'm going to try not to, but I'll be honest, I have really big feelings about this. I've had big feelings about this for a while, and I don't think I'm the only one. And I want to preface this by saying I played League for 12 years. I played League for a very long time. I was there for like the golden age of League. I was there for like kind of the downfall of it. I was there for all of it except for the very beginning of the game. And no, I was not a high ranked player, but that's because number one, I really didn't rank. I ranked a little bit, and even then I didn't put that much time into it. I never probably put over 200 games in a season. And two, I was a very casual gamer. I was trying to play to have fun. Yes, I would still try to do my best and not just troll every game, but mostly it was just to have fun. I played a lot of League of Legends. I was probably one of their biggest fangirls without getting into cringe territory. But it got to the point where I had to walk away from the game, and that is what I want to talk about in this video. In this video, I really want to go into the reasons why I quit League of Legends. How does somebody that plays the game all the time slowly become somebody that doesn't touch the game at all? And the reason why is because of the community. And yeah, I mean, it's a huge meme that League of Legends has a really toxic community. It's always been toxic. It's always been bad to a certain degree. There's always been really try-hard people, but that doesn't bother me, right? Like, there's gonna be some people that just take the game more seriously than I do, and I respect that. That is where they want to put their drive and their passion. Go for it. What really makes me sad is when you get into a game and somebody just disagrees with what you've done or a decision you've made, or maybe you panicked and like flubbed something, and instead of them giving you that fair chance of, oh, you made a mistake, it's the instant rage quitting, it's the telling you to unalive yourself, it's the constant harassment that is happening during the games that has just become so prevalent. I could go and play a game right now and somebody would say something. It's no longer like any kind of friendly in the community. And I have felt that way about the game, like in increasing amounts for probably the past 2 years. It's gotten really bad. Now, I stopped playing League probably a little less than a year ago, like playing it on a consistent basis. And I finally have uninstalled it within the last like 4 months because I just wasn't interested in playing it anymore. And to be honest, like getting shit on verbally every game I go into did not help. Now, again, it was a meme in the community that League is toxic. Yes, I know League is toxic. We all know League is toxic. There is a certain level of toxicity that should be acceptable. And unfortunately, I think because that meme exists, this idea that it's okay to be toxic in League, people have just ramped it up to 1,000. And is that the player base's fault? Or is that like almost a management issue? Like, is that a dev issue? And I would say it's a combination of two. You know, just because you're on the internet doesn't mean you have to act like a jerkhole. But at the same time, the devs should be doing something. There should be some sort of damage control when it comes to this. I miss the tribunal. They should have brought that shit back. That shit was funny. That was gold. I don't know why they never brought back the tribunal. And that's gonna move into my next point. There was no longer like a sense of community with my fellow players, but there also wasn't a sense of community that was built up by the devs anymore. I mean, I could bring up the snowballing incident that happened with the devs, and like that should be explanation enough as to how the devs treated the community. I mean, like, that was so disrespectful and that sucked. The fact that balancing is not based off of region and is instead based off of what the Chinese audience wants is also, like, incredibly stupid in my mind. Different regions play differently, different regions have different strengths, and the fact that they have just kind of made it this sweeping generalization of how the game should be played is so dumb and so stupid. And you can disagree with me on that one, but I feel very strongly about that. But like even the community events that they were trying to do, like the most special thing that they've done is release like more battle passes, more expensive skins, and like URF, which I don't like URF. So it used to be cool, but now it's not so cool, and it's just a pain in the ass to play because people just min-max their way around the map. Like if I see another fucking troll pole fizz coming at me that can do it every 2 seconds, I'm gonna cry. Like, do you remember the days of Get Jinxed on Jinx's release and how hype the community was? Everyone was so horny for her. Everybody was so fun. Everyone was excited, and it was a beautiful time. Like, Curse of the Sad Mummy came out around the same time, and you could go to the behind the scenes videos where that really hot Eastern European guy was talking about how he wrote the song because he loved the character so much. Like, there is not passion like that coming from that studio anymore. It's just not happening, and it hasn't for a long, long time. And I could get into the balancing issues that I have with that game because, whew, I've got some big feelings about that one. But I don't want this video to go on for like an hour and a half of me just bitching and moaning about the state of the game. All I will say is that it makes me really sad to see like the same 3 characters come into rotation because they're the popular characters, or that's where most of the player base is at, and you have to like learn them or shove them into your rotation trying to make them work. And support as a role is different. Now this is like a personal gripe of mine because most people don't play support. And like, yes, I'm a girl that plays support, haha, let's joke about it. But like, I took that role very seriously. I loved support because support actually had a semblance of hierarchy in bot lane. If your support was good, yeah, the ADC had to have technical skills, right? But it was your support that really like led the bot lane. And if you didn't know that and you play support now and you're like, yeah, I do that too with my Lux ult. Fuck you. You don't understand how important support was. You don't understand what it was like to run at somebody and to get lane dominance because like you were fucking scary. Now it's just hide in a bush. Use your Morgana Q, or like play Scion bot for some ungodly reason and just spam your shit from a, like it's so frustrating because bot lane lost its identity. It no longer knows what it wants to be, and it hasn't been for a long time. Now I'm sure people will pop up and say, yeah, it's for other carries. Well then why the f do we have mid lane? We have top to have like our bruisers and our tanks. We have mid lane for our mages and our like assassins. Bot lane was for our ADCs. And our supports, but we're not gonna f***ing carry. Like, we had the ADCs for that. ADCs have been gutted for a long time. We have no idea what to do with them. And maybe that has changed since I have stopped playing. But after the Ahri skin thing, I will not come back. And I want you to know, I love Hui. I love that character. That character had me coming back for a little bit. He's really fun, and I love him. Not gonna f***ing come back now, not after what they pulled with the Ahri skin. I cannot believe it. In fact, I recorded myself reacting to the Ahri skin because I was so surprised that it f***ing happened. I'm sorry. Boo Boo is how much? Is it though? That's not who I think of when I think of Faker. I think of like Rise. Does anyone else think of Rise? Am I wrong?
What is that?
I have never in my life. What is the difference? It gets even more expensive? And the core matter of it is that I don't think Riot really cares about the common gamer anymore. It's either you're the pro players that is bringing in all the money from LCS, or you are somebody that is going to donate a large portion of your money because you want to buy a skin. And yeah, I understand that skins aren't pay to win, and what you want to do with your money is your choice, and I totally agree with that. You should buy whatever it is you want to buy if you work hard for that money. But at the same time, like, you shouldn't buy this skin. Nobody should buy this skin. It makes me sad that people are going to buy this skin. Just like it makes me really sad that we basically pay for the privilege of beta testing a game for companies now. And then it's not even released half the time, and that is just ridiculous, but that is the topic for another video. All I'm trying to say is that League is not what it used to be anymore, okay? And because of it, I quit. Now, the question is, what am I gonna play now? And I tried a whole bunch of stuff, guys. I played Overwatch pretty heavily for a little bit before the devs ruined that. I played Paladins, I played Smite, I was a really big Dead by Daylight player, and then I don't even want to get started on Dead by Daylight. I could make a whole video just talking about Dead by Daylight and why I don't play that game anymore either, because that game, you want to talk about some big feelings. I got some big feelings about that one. But I digress. I was having a hard time finding something that would scratch the itch from me leaving League, and it consumed me, and that's why I kept going back to League. It was like a terrible relationship. I was giving my all to something that was not going to love me back right. And to be fair, it was my fault, but I kept coming back to League because there was something about it that it had just gotten into my core. And then I found Eternal Return. Eternal Return is not exactly like League, but the combat is very similar, so it made it really easy for me to translate my skills over to it. But at its core, Eternal Return is completely different. It is a battle royale, which I don't like battle royales. I know we've talked a lot about the things I don't like in this video. I promise I am a pleasant person who likes things. And I played it briefly when it had solos going on. So it really was a true battle royale, and it didn't quite scratch the itch that I was looking for, simply because I liked the team element of League quite a bit. So I played Eternal Return, liked the game in its core, like its combat and its characters, but I kind of put it on the back burner, and then I came back to it when 1.0 came out. And when 1.0 came out, they got rid of solos, and then it was all squads. And that is when Eternal Return finally became my game of choice. And I do think they should bring solos back, because there's tons of players that I think would thrive a lot better in the solo environment. But I think that squads is a really great alternative, and to be honest, it scratches that league itch. And I promise you that if you were to give it a try and to learn the game, it would scratch that itch for you too. You want complexity? Guess what? It still has the building system of League, but there's so many more nuances to it that take it to a higher level. And it's that type of gameplay that they have made, number one, more accessible for players to learn, okay? Like, that was kind of the problem when I played it before with solos. It was very tedious to try to learn the game, but now it's at a great point. I think that if you are playing League, or if you are somebody that has quit League, but you still miss League, or you want something like League, but you want a better community, and you want new characters all the time that don't feel like rehashes of other characters. Now, I will admit, there is some familiarity with some of the skills in some League characters, okay? Like, we have Tarek ult, there's a character like Hui, but it's not Hui. There are some similarities. You can't get away from that just because of the style of the game, in my opinion. But I think that the characters all make sense. Like, I never understood why neeko, why her ult wasn't Silas's ult. And then I realized, well, they came out right after each other. What probably happened is they thought that ult was so cool that they put it on a whole new character. And maybe I'm totally wrong there, but that's how I always felt. I always felt like League kind of stretched out whatever they had instead of trying to come up with new creative ideas. And because you've played League before, guess what? You're not afraid of a little bit of a learning curve. And Eternal Return has a learning curve. But I think that's great, because it kind of wards off the people that are very casual in League, that don't actually like put any effort or any skill into it. And I'm really sorry if you're one of those people. I'm not trying to shit talk you. But I like to play with people that are pretty competent personally. And this game kind of forces you to be competent, or you're not going to go anywhere and you're not going to do anything. So while I understand that there are a lot of people that are new to League, and so like the allure of it is still there and everything's new and exciting, this video is not for you. This is for people that are truly tired of League, that have been doing League and playing League for a long time now. And if you're looking for an alternative, I highly recommend Eternal Return. I really do. There's a small community that has been growing slowly and steadily. There are tons of wonderful content creators that can help you break into the game and help you learn things. There are so many people that are just really friendly. I've only met a few toxic people in the community where I've really disliked them and will try to avoid them in games. Otherwise, I just play with everyone, and it's so nice to come to a game where I feel really welcomed and I feel like we're all actually trying to work together. Like, you may have somebody 3 games in a row that kicks your butt on another team, and then they end up on your team and they're like, hey man, are you ready? Like, we're gonna do this together. And you don't have time to hold a grudge. You don't have time to be yucky with them, because you guys gotta work together to make it all happen. And if you're somebody like me that feels like you were cheated by them trying to force the games to be shorter, because I personally really liked the flow of older League games that, yeah, maybe they were an hour long. That didn't bother me. I mean, I didn't have responsibilities really at that time either, so maybe that's why it didn't bother me. But I don't mind playing a longer game, all right? And I felt like what they did to make the game shorter was cheap, and it didn't make sense. And I understand that that's a complex issue that maybe I wouldn't know how to fix personally, but it wouldn't have been the way that they did it. With Eternal Return, you don't have to worry about that, because zones go out like a battle royale, and things have to end at some point. Zones will go out to the point where you are forced to fight. But when you're forced to fight, it doesn't feel like the game is forcing you with a gimmick. It feels like a very natural progression. It doesn't feel like they tried to shorten the game by removing skill out of the equation. If you are interested in playing Eternal Return, I actually have some videos that talk about the basics of it. It is free to play. You can buy skins, but none of them are over $50, so don't worry about that. You're not going to be spending, rent money on trying to make your character look cool. And I'm going to be honest, instead of you putting your money towards a company that really doesn't care about you, maybe you should consider giving it to people that are actually trying to create a game that is trying to cater towards its players. Just food for thought. you do what you want, and if you do decide to play Eternal Return, I hope to see you guys on Lumia Island. Thank you. I am off my soapbox, I promise. If you managed to stick around for my rant and you actually want to watch more of my content, please feel free to like the video and subscribe. If you disagree with something I said, I love to open up doors of discussion. I love to talk about it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you feel. I may disagree with you, but that doesn't mean that your opinion is invalid. All right, well, that's it, guys. Hope you all are doing well. And yeah, that's it. Bye.